He's the one that designed that. Yeah. His son is awesome. That's so German.
Ready? I want to thank everybody for showing up and coming to our June 24th meeting of a Hyde Park City Council meeting. There's many people here. You would think we were talking about chickens or something. It would fill the room with that, but glad you're here. We're going to have our opening prayer thought and pledge by Councilmember Atkinson.
Start with a prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity we have to meet this evening as Mayor and City Council and staff and community to discuss the items that are before the city. Help us to have clear minds and ears that are open to hear different opinions and thoughts, and to proceed in a manner that would be most beneficial to our community. We're grateful for the country we live in, for the freedoms we enjoy, and for the rights that we have to exercise and act on our own behalf. We pray that the Spirit will be with us through this meeting, that we might be mindful of the decisions we're making. We are grateful for our many blessings, and we ask these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tiffany. I will say, especially at this time of year, but we should do it all the time, be very grateful for the freedoms and the liberties we have. It seems to me that recently we've had the World Cup and everybody's united, and someday we'll go back to all of us being our normal selves and gathering together to hate the Dallas Cowboys. But for right now, I like the unity that we have in the country, and it seems to be something that we should have all the time. The next item of business is to review and amend or approve the meeting minutes from June 10th. I thank you, Tiffany, for taking that. I had an extended dentist appointment in the Bahamas.
That's right. Sure.
So, Kurt, do you have anything? Tiffany,
I do not have anything.
Stephanie,
No.
Kurt, or Dave?
Did you make, okay, nope.
Having none, I would look for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 20 or June 10th.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion from Kurt?
I'll second it.
A second from Tiffany. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay. Motion carries 4-0. Please make note that Councilmember Osborne is off on business and excused at that. You have the meeting agenda before you. Having no other amendments to it, I would look for a motion, if you have none, to approve the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda as outlined.
We got a motion from David. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Stephanie. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Can you understand? Is it? Can you understand me good? Okay, sorry, my speech is starting to go on me. At this time, we open it up for people to bring up any item to the council that's not currently on the agenda. And we'd ask you to try to keep it to 3 minutes. I think I know what's going to be discussed, and they're very significant and important to in the present and the future. So we'll open it up at this time and turn it over to the residents for comments. Larry, this would be you, or,
Sydney.
oh, come right up.
Yeah. Well, I'm here because I want to talk about fireworks restrictions. As you all know, in 2024, we had a fire up at Greystone. That's where I live, if you don't know. And someone shot fireworks off around midnight up the hill and down the hill towards my studio and toward Wheeler's. It was just a miracle that we got that fire out. It was really a scary thing. The fire marshal told me the next day, another 10 minutes, and I would have lost my studio, maybe my house. And that was a dry year. 2025 was the driest summer on record in Cache County. There are 2 other years that are drier overall year, but it dry. And on the 4th of July that year, someone shot fireworks off just right below my studio, and I happened to be out in the yard and saw him do it, and I yelled at him and said, I'm calling the police, which I did. And a lot of neighbors came out and tried to catch the guy. He got away, but the law was there, but they don't follow it. Some people don't follow it. So my thoughts are that this year is drier than last year. I think it's going to be the worst, driest year. So this is 3 years of drought. So the grass is really dry, not just above 400 East, but below 400 East as well. And those fields are just as dry. So I think you should consider maybe banning fireworks this year completely, because, I mean, if something catches on fire, look, there's thousands of acres burning in Utah right now. So anyway, that's just my thought. I just would like certainly I would like to have the neighbors be vigilant and pay attention to who's doing what, because we got to keep an eye out for this stuff, because it is really scary stuff, and it's dry this year. So that's just all I want to say. But if you don't ban fireworks over the whole city, I think it's a mistake not to do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
And the council can respond after we finish this public session. And now we've got some young men here to discuss something at a very opportune time.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I just want to thank you all for your service to this community. I've been here for 6 years now.
Name, please.
It's Kyle Niedrich.
Thank you.
And my kids and I love to go to the skate parks around the valley. My wife's taking them to Hiram tomorrow, in fact. And I also love the skate park and grew up in a community that had a skate park. It was actually built when I was in, I believe it was 8th grade. So I started skateboarding around that time. And I just know that it's a really safe place to keep the kids off of the, public and private properties. It's a great hub for activity, staying healthy, and if I need to get signatures, I'm happy to, kind of go around the neighborhood and ask people if they're interested in supporting that. So however I can help, just know I'm here for that. So I talked to or emailed Marcus, and he said there's like the active transportation and parks master plan that's kind of being formed right now, but you're still looking for a contractor. Is that right?
It's out to RFP right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I just encourage you to kind of include that in a skate park, to keep that in mind when you find a contractor. So I have a letter here as well, just kind of highlighting some of the benefits of a skate park and a potential location. Zach Shepard, he's the owner of Directive Skate Shop in Logan. He thought maybe a good place would be Legacy Park. That's just kind of an idea. But can I just give you the letter
Sure.
now? And I can email you as well, if that'd be helpful.
And yeah, if you can email it, then it can be attached to the meeting.
Yeah, I can do that. Thank you. I can email all of you the copy of this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions for me, I have about 30 seconds. Or
I take it you got, you brought the muscle to
Yeah, so.
convince us?
Yeah, want to come up and share a few thoughts?
None of them have broken legs either.
Well, sure, you're welcome to come up and share your thoughts on this. I'd like to hear from the youth. We often build parks that are designed by us old people, and we'd much rather have youth involved in the thoughts of it.
Yeah. My name's Leo Gilbert. And I've spent a lot of time around skate parks and skateboarding, and I really have seen nothing but positives. I grew up when I was young, me and a couple friends would go ride our boards over to nearby skate parks. So I think it's really valuable to have proximity for these younger generations to be able to go skate over to skate parks with their friends. And I think skate parks are a fantastic way to build community, and they're great for mental health and physical health. So I'm strongly for a skate park. It's really been cool to see how much a skate park can benefit a community. So
Well, thank you.
yeah,
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
How many skate parks are there in Cache Valley?
So there is 4 now.
So you could go to those, all of you go to those probably, you're familiar with it.
Yeah. And it's been really cool to see the new skaters that have emerged with each skate park. The Providence one is the newest one. And I mean, there's just so many new people who come and learn to skate. Me and a couple of these guys teach skate lessons through the other cities of these skate parks. And I mean, it's full of just little kids who come and learn to love skateboarding. So I think a new skate park doesn't only provide a spot for existing skaters to go skate, but it really opens the gate for new people to come in and learn and love skateboarding and scootering and biking. So
Are you calling the small one in Smithfield a skate park?
yeah,
It's quite small,
it
but
is pretty small, but it still is pretty fun.
it's
So,
pretty fun, but I saw people in there elbow to elbow trying to do it, and I'm like, ooh, that looks like an accident waiting to happen. It
Yeah.
needs to be bigger, but
definitely.
the one in Hiram is probably the best one in the valley.
Yeah, it's up there with parks in Utah even. That one's pretty awesome. So yeah, we spend a lot of time out there in Hiram or at the Providence one, but
Okay.
yeah,
Well, thank you.
thank you guys.
Any of the other guys want to do this? Sure.
Hi, my name's Chet Brown. Just wanted to add to the skate park thing and how essential that is. I think for a community, it gives people a great place to connect. People of all like generations and backgrounds, even to all have that one thing in common of skateboarding. So it's like, when growing up at the skate park, I'd go there every day, and there'd always be, excuse me, a friend, or like multiple friends. Any time of the day I'd go there, which is, I think, super rad and super, I don't know, it'd be great to have in this community. And there are other skate parks people can drive to, but especially the younger kids that don't have a car or a license, it'd be great to have one here in Hyde Park for them to, come to that'd be nice and close. That's all I have to say.
Okay, well, thank you. Appreciate that. Any other comments? If not, we'll close the public session. I'll tell you that as Marcus indicated, we have a grant that we're going out for our Parks and Trails Master Plan. And all of this, I imagine there'll be a part of public interface, probably some open houses down here at the city building. So if your folks receive a water bill, they also receive a city newsletter. And watch for those. Come down and be heard. I mean, these parks are built for the youth, and I think they're done for a good purpose to get people out in front of PlayStations and get them out and exercising, doing things when an adult can be out there on the skateboard and some of the youth can be there and their peers at that time. They're not, adults telling them what to do. Heck, the adults are probably trying to learn what the youth are doing. So I know my son goes and he takes his boys. They like going to Providence, they like going to Hiram, and then they like complaining to me. So, I think that's some of the things that we need to plan for. Parks built for the people that are using them. As far as the fire, I went up there with Larry and saw how close he came to losing his livelihood and his home. And I think next week we need to send that out. We have it in city code that no fireworks above 4th East. And I would ask the chief to have the police on patrol. It's city code, and that they can be cited for violation of that. It's, if we can't learn by just looking out and taking a look at the air that we're getting from Salt Lake County and seeing all the smoke that we're getting, you know, it's on fire down there, and it'll go up fast, and so fast that the people like Larry, they won't have time to respond, and people will lose homes. So I think we need to get a message out early next week and have the police vigorously enforce it. And I know one city in Utah has banned fireworks altogether. Don't know how well that's going to work, but sometimes it's, people get fireworks and they just get wide eyes, and common sense goes out the window. They thought it would be good to light the firework in the road just north of Larry's house. Well, it went to the north of the road and the south of the road and came close to burning up his studio. So I really think that needs to be watched in this, really a dry season, but all the time. But the most important time is right now. So
I have a question. Chief, do you intend on giving warnings or tickets?
Tickets this time
Tickets.
on that. So actually, I've talked with Mayor a little bit about this, but one of the things that last year we didn't have people actually out on an active patrol for that special assignment. And this year with this dry is what it is what Larry talked about. That is something that we're, I think, going to do is make some overtime shifts available for the officers to work specifically the fireworks complaints. We always get them. They're always an issue on that. So this year we need to be proactive with it.
Good.
So if any of the youth that are in the room lives east of this building, you might want to go west. Don't light fireworks up there at all. Please don't. It'll get away from the fire department so fast. The small one down south, I read once it was 1,000 acres, and now it's on its way to being 100,000 and 0% controlled. So, and there was one that burned up a ski resort down there, down south. So
How's the easiest way for someone to notify you there's fireworks in an area?
It needs to come through 911 dispatch, and it needs to be immediate.
Okay.
Quite often the struggle that the police have in responding is it comes half an hour later or 5 hours later. They're like, oh yeah, my neighbor was shooting it off. And I'm like,
This would be the first year I wouldn't hear fireworks if it were to stop where I live. And I live in the fire, that area too, right up by the canal.
I guarantee you're going to hear them up there.
Oh, I know it.
People will do it no matter what.
So we
Common
really
sense tells
got to.
And probably starting on Thursday, if
Yeah.
you're already.
My kids are coming and they wanted to bring fireworks and I told them no way, because I didn't want to go to jail.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
have
that's
bail
why they
money
were
for
bringing
you.
Yeah, I have a question for the young men. I'm wondering what the collective personality is of skaters. You know, we've had trouble in our parks with vandalism in the bathrooms. And just wondered what the personality is of the skaters. Do you take care of your parks? Are you fiercely taking care of your parks? Kind of give you an indication of.
Sure, come on up.
I mean, you're getting all types of personalities, like every kind of person is out there. Like you were saying, like from younger kids all the way to adults. Most of us, when we go to these parks, like any single one of them, usually the first thing we do is kind of like look around. Maybe there's old water bottles on a bench, so make sure to clean that up, you know, make sure we're taking good care of it before excuse me, before we actually start skateboarding. So
Okay. Well, I know peer pressure goes a long ways. And so if you saw somebody committing vandalism in the park, in the restrooms, in the skates area, that I would hope that if we had one, that you guys would be ready to call 911 or ready to report somebody
yeah, for sure.
and to protect our parks.
Totally. Yeah. Make sure everyone is kind of on board with the same idea of keeping the parks clean and looking out for each other, make sure everyone is doing the right thing.
That's the right answer. Thank you. I can never understand people destroying
I
community property.
I saw one of the craziest things at Lions Park this last Sunday when we were up there. Where the middle Lions were the pavilion, we were there having dinner. And a group came through by the water tank and they had devised the game where they would take a bocce ball. Everyone knows those are big and hard. And they were rolling them down the walkways. Just so happens to be my wife's new car, my new truck, my son-in-law's Corvette was down there by them. And oh, by the way, it was adults that were doing this. And it just was beyond me of, we're all running out to our vehicles to move them because they thought that would be a good idea. I'm not certain in what reality, but it comes in all you know,
Ages.
we may be grown-ups, but we don't have the market on common sense sometimes. So the first part, as when I was on city council 17 years ago, we opened up Lions Park or Lee Park bathrooms that were just built. First weekend, there was $40,000 worth of damage done in there, tearing sinks off and bathroom toilets off. And we just locked them up for the year and called it good. So it comes in all shapes and sizes, but it really comes down to what Stephanie's alluding to. Your parents pay for this. You know, we're just trying to be good stewards and do what community wants, but parents pay for the amenities out there, and we want to treat them good so you can come back tomorrow and the next day, and I think that's important for all of us. But that was a good answer. You guys take care of it before you do it.
Mayor, I've just been thinking in regards to the Windborg's request about fireworks. Do you think it would behoove the city to take a stronger stance to fireworks this year? I know every year we say no fireworks above 4th East, and it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that we say it, doesn't matter that it's in the ordinance. Every year we say it, and every year I worry that my backyard's gonna burn because people are on 7th East lighting fireworks, and I'm just below the Windborgs a little bit, and they get it up above me even more. I just feel like we need to make a stronger statement, or an all-out ban, I think would be, and maybe in our best interest.
And maybe a
And maybe only
citywide,
allowing the city fireworks to be the only fireworks that happen
right.
this year, or because I don't think it's going to make a difference if we don't take a stronger stance in this dry year.
Folks are already buying them.
They're already
They
buying.
Opened up today, right? I think.
Yeah, and maybe if we
So-
put the word out sooner that we will be ticketing and we expect no fireworks, and please come to our city celebration to enjoy your fireworks this year.
To
Might be-
actually do a ban on something like that, Marcus, wouldn't we have to have a resolution?
I think so. I mean, Governor Cox already recommended that that's what all the communities do, so we can
It's really dangerous.
rely heavily on his proclamation to create one of our own.
We should look at, we may not catch the 4th, but they sell fireworks
Yeah, I'm up.
through the 24th, and so let's look at perhaps getting that and doing it, because it's not going to get, it's going to get only more dry between now and our city celebration. We have one more city council meeting before that.
Mhm.
And so let's look at what the governor has out there, and perhaps we put that on the agenda and have a ban on fireworks. And I'll actually speak with Mayor Peterson in North Logan, and they may do likewise.
Maybe even a courtesy request through the pigeon, like,
Yeah,
we're not trying to put a damper on your celebration, but in the interest of safety, could we all be mindful this year and not participate with fireworks and let's celebrate together at the city or something? Like I think we need to get a message out there that says
I can't.
it's a little more serious than just,
Well, a good message would be those above east of Fourth East get cited
We'll be cited.
on the 4th of July, and then maybe the word will get around and you won't have the
Everybody
issue by
else
the
probably
20th.
shouldn't be doing it.
that would be a good message.
And if it's the first people that do it on Thursday or Friday or whatever day it is, and the word gets out, that would be a good start.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's any place in town, that we could offer up, is at Lee Park. If you've got some fireworks, go
Come
do it
here.
where there's a lot of green space, even though it's dry down there. I'm glad we aren't watering it every day.
Does North Park have any restrictions?
I'll talk with Mayor Peterson, and I think she came back.
The fire restrictions come through the fire marshal and through the state that way. They're the ones who put those in place.
When they do restrictions, but when
Right.
we implemented it in code, then we got the government. Larry, did you have a comment?
If you did ban it throughout the city, it'd be easier to control what's going on up above, because we can't tell, when fireworks going off, we don't know if they're above 400 east of Eagle, we don't know. We can't tell when they're looking at us.
Now, if it's any,
So this year being, 150th year of our anniversary of American celebration, a lot of people are gonna want to set fireworks off. But I guarantee if you set them up in this environment, it's gonna be a fire. I mean, because it's so dry. But, so maybe the one thought would be that maybe you did ban it, either control it above too.
so would it be, since we're with Smithfield Fire Department, do we talk to the fire chief there, or does it implement it at the county level and then comes down to fire departments?
It'd be with the Smithville Fire Chief there on that, but my 2 cents worth. Larry brings up a really good point. When we're getting complaints that come into dispatch, we're driving around the area trying to figure out, where it's coming from. Is it 3rd East? Is it 2nd East? Is it 5th East? Like, we're not sure where it's coming from because they've stopped by the time we get there on that. And so an all-out ban is easier. They shouldn't be going off. It's easier to enforce that than it is to, well, from this here to here you can, but not. That's my 2 cents worth from the police perspective.
It's easier to enforce the onesies and twosies you find, but if everyone in town is doing it, you don't have enough people.
I don't have enough people.
I mean, that becomes part of the issue too, is
It
that,
is.
if they're going off wherever, you're gonna catch, 1 or 2, and you'll never get to the ones over here or there in time, but
That
to
would be
start,
the priority.
that would be the priority. Start there and
Right.
work your way down, but.
Right down. The overtime shifts will help with that. But still, I think the public necessity this year is great.
Yeah, I think
Tiffany's right. If we set a citywide ban, they'll know we're serious, that we're not gonna put up with it.
maybe lightens the load for the police a little bit if more people will be law abiding, and then the few that aren't, maybe they can,
There are other fireworks shows going on. Logan still has their fireworks show that they're putting on.
there'll be
You know.
places to see them.
heavens, I put a big one on down in the church parking lot. I can't promote going to the church to do it, but that's where I did it. Yeah, you're saying no because it's across the street from you. But you can't, like I said, I can't promote saying go to the church because that's private property, and can't do it on school stuff either, but we need, this year is really bad, so let's come up with a strong statement that we send out on Pigeon next week, that not only is it prohibited, it'll be cited above 4th East, and we'd encourage everyone to refrain from fireworks this year in light of such a dry condition that you likely will get visited no matter what. If you're lighting them off, you should get visited by police.
I think you need to send something out sooner if you're gonna do it like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then a reminder next Thursday.
Right, send second notice.
Okay,
if you're gonna be serious about it,
Yeah.
and then follow up and,
They started selling
Chief.
today, they can sell a week ahead or something like
yeah,
that.
I think that's what I heard and saw. I mean, all the tents were going up yesterday. And
It's 3 days before, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a
No.
time frame before and after the
Yeah,
holiday.
I think the 24th is like the day before.
anyway,
So let's get a strong message sent out. I know it's in this, going out in the city newsletter, but
Do you want us to let people know that not only a reminder of the code, you can't launch fireworks up past 4th East, but also let them know that the council will be considering a citywide ban? You want us to include that in the message?
Citywide.
but we can't do it in time for the 4th, correct?
I
we
think
have,
that,
we have to notice that one to do a resolution, right, Danya?
Well, yeah, we'd have to have
We
it
have to
on
have
our
notice and
agenda.
time.
Yeah.
I
So,
think giving the public a heads up is nothing but kind on our behalf if we're going to cite, like ticket and ban and sending information that this is a possibility this summer if you participate in fireworks. I think it's like they might not buy them. I wouldn't want to waste $100 on fireworks to find out I couldn't
That's what I want.
use them. Yeah,
want to Prevent sooner than later.
yeah. So I think it's fair to send the message that we don't want to see fireworks unless they're at our city celebration this year.
I would just hate for us to be here 2 weeks from now, the city council meeting, talking about the fire that burned up a hillside. And we haven't done what we need to do.
I don't know how that one 2 years ago didn't burn a senior home.
Larry, it was only because Larry was home and
In the fire department.
They were amazing, but it was scary.
but Larry wasn't answering his phone. I know that. They were pounding on your door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It got, well, they didn't, tell you what happened. The fire called in, and they did not know, the fire department didn't know what the fire behind the street, they didn't know that. Burning up the hill, down the hill. So the company came from Utah State University and came on the upper road because there was so many fire trucks down the road. And that's how they caught my fire, they never would have caught it from, we had to come that up the road, you probably. So, my thought is, thank goodness for the fire department, they did a fantastic job, I didn't think they'd ever get that out. Wind was going 40 miles an hour, which often was happening with the fire, the wind kicks up. So it was really amazing that they got that out, I didn't think they were gonna get that out.
Yeah.
And that fire was caused by fireworks.
Yep.
As you know, you were up there that morning, you can see on the hook where they shot Ford Weir and shot down Ward Field. So people don't always follow the law. Obviously, so I don't know, it's just a. It would be prudent, I think, this season, with this dry weather. I know Governor Cox looked at it, I think he just said something in the area yesterday about. It was considering a statewide ban, but then he said leave it up to cities and counties. So anyway, I don't know, I said it was a close call, though.
Yeah.
And it would have been a catastrophic, I mean, for all of those houses up there.
Yeah.
I
So-
really appreciate your consideration on it.
Thank you, Larry.
You.
All right, let's move to the next item. Any council report? Anything, Dave? You've been gallivanting around though.
A little bit, the safety committee, you want me to mention something now or wait until the end or?
Let's wait till the end on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Kyle and group. Thanks for coming.
Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate y'all. Stephanie, you got something coming up?
Got a big city celebration coming up. Do you want me to go over it now?
Sure.
So we've had a couple of things change as far as the agenda. We are going to put the Old Timer Social on Friday night, starting at 6 o'clock. They'll meet out here at the Remember Monument, and Larry Winborg is going to be the guest speaker. It'll last for about 45 minutes to an hour. And those will be the only two things, the car show and the Old Timer Social will happen on Friday night. The Hyde Porker barbecue contest is being moved to Saturday. That is so we can perhaps capture those that are working on Friday and not able to do that. So, got a great camp chef. What would you call it?
They're like Blackstones. They're griddles.
Yes.
Grills.
Got one of those for first prize and, yeah, so we,
It's a nice one, 36 inch. It's a big one. So
yeah, so that's gonna be first place. We're hoping to get a lot of participation this year. If we don't, I think we'll do away with it. We are gonna really push it as far as yard signs. It's a QR code that people can sign up very easily. We're gonna push it on social media a lot, and that also, if they'll tag 5 friends on social media, we're gonna be giving away a prize there to somebody for those who tag 5 people. So we're really pushing this year to see if it can catch on. And the rest of the schedule is pretty much the same. We will not have the bike race this year. Unfortunately, the person that does that, the 2 people that do that both have conflicts this year. So it will be coming back next year, but we won't have it this year. We will not have the fireman's hose because of the water situation. We will, though, have water on some of the inflatables. So we'll have the, starting out with the 5K and 1 mile race. We'll have yoga on the lawn. We'll have the parade. Then we'll have all the things in the city, the church square. That we are moving it because the church is not allowing selling on church property. So everything is going to be shifted kind of west
in the city right away.
in the city right away. So all the vendors will be in the city right away there on Main Street, and also the booths. There's lots of people reaching out to do booths. I feel so bad there's not shade there. It's going to be very hot in July, but I don't know what else to do.
Stephanie, real quick, could you get us a final map for all the road closures you're going to need? I'm having Public Works order us signs for all of our road closures again.
Okay.
Could you just give me a map?
Great.
Parade and all day, since we're putting stuff in the road
Oh.
when we're doing the hard road closures for a
Right.
couple of those. I just need like
Yeah.
a final layout from you.
Is Main Street. From
Okay.
Thunder to 100 North.
Let's give it a map and we can put the time frames on it and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and then if you make a map, then we can just send that directly to the signage company and say, this is how we want it, and it can be very customizable. So yeah, stop by my office or email me one, and we'll get those signs ordered.
We'll have all the activities as usual down on the church square, just set up a little different and maybe it'll be better.
Some
Who
of them
knows?
may sell their tickets for a burger out in the right of way, but they could be grilling the burgers on the church property. There's
Yes.
money changing hands.
The money changers.
Outside, it affects the tax exempt status of the church, so
Yes.
we'll
So,
need to look at future opportunities, whether legacy or Lee or other areas, perhaps.
we also will be having a live band in the evening. They're called River Dogs. And they will be playing for about 3 hours. And so people can eat, listen to that. And then, of course, there'll be 9 Square and those kind of games going on, along with the barrel train cars. And then, of course, we are going to have a patriotic program, very heavy on patriotism. Fireworks after the fireworks dance, the end.
I would encourage council members, I know Stephanie and I, the last couple of years have been down. We ask people to clean up after themselves, but we come down Sunday morning because I hate getting called to the principal's office because we left a mess. And so we've been down Sunday morning, just policing up the grounds, making sure that you leave them clean. So council, I'd ask you to join us for fun and games Sunday morning.
What time do you usually go down there the next morning?
When I get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Need
exhausted
to-
after that day.
Yeah, I need to be down there. We would like to get it done before there's first services before 9, so get down there at 8 o'clock and start picking things up. There's 2 8s on the clock, Stephanie.
What? One is coming up in about 16 minutes. That's the only.
That's the only one you know of. I know that. There's 2 of them.
What? I want to see that on
She's
the
not-
internet outside.
she's not- yeah, Google it. You'll find out. They can't lie on Google. So, anything else,
I think that's enough.
Tiffany?
I got a letter from, well, a memorandum, MOU from Green Canyon High School about the roundabout. I just uploaded it into Box because I didn't get it done earlier, but if you would all take the time to read it and review it, Marcus has read it. Had concerns about the water. I think the way that the high school is looking at it is that they want to be the caretaker. They want to give a design to be approved by the city that needs to be water wise, but they want it to represent the school. And they'll be the caretakers of the roundabout. So they have some student buy-in into community involvement. They want like the kids to have some pride in the community. So they want them to be the caretakers of the school. They want each senior class to be able to add something to the roundabout in memory of their class. And but then it would function like like our other roundabout. So we would water the plants. We would take care of any major
We have a
Sprinkler
design,
works.
we have a design for it.
yeah.
A
With a
water,
lot,
a water wise one.
oh, we have a.
I think,
Do you have a new one?
didn't Nick do one for that?
He did one for a different roundabout.
Pardon?
He did it for a different roundabout. He
Okay.
did not do it. This would be for the roundabout with the wolf in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they have a landscaper that they have contracted with that will put a design together to present to the city. And we would approve it, and then they would want us to enter into this MOU of how it's going to be.
they want
cared
us into
for.
their, cared for,
Well,
or to
it'd be-
plant, who buys the plants?
They're gonna do all of that.
Oh,
They're gonna do all, yeah. They're gonna, the design, but then they'll do the upkeep and the maintenance. Planting, weeding, mulching, litter removal, seasonal landscape care, they're gonna do all of that. But they will be responsible for infrastructure of the roundabout. I don't know, but if you take a minute, and read it, Gordon Geddes has asked that I get back with him, and
Okay.
I would like to take the council's feedback.
Is there any downside to it?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but if there's anything that's concerning, Marcus pointed out that they mentioned we would be responsible for the water, but we also want to be sure that we're water wise. We're implementing those things, and that's why they have to present the plan to the council for
Gotcha.
approval
So
before
in
they.
case they come up with a waterfall and.
Yeah, we're not gonna be doing that, but
Okay.
anyways. And then I just had complaints from the citizens because now on the entrance to Hyde Park Canyon, they've hung a sign, I don't think it's us, that says, you can't go up there because of HB3, the e-bike one.
Mhm.
Does that mean that they can't ride motorcycles and ATVs and things up the canyon?
So.
Or does our ordinance prohibit that?
No, yes.
It's a tricky subject, actually. So the public lands where it has been allowed in the past, they are allowed to do that on.
Okay,
So for instance, my family, we go up Logan Canyon and, we do our four-wheeler trail over,
Yeah.
even over to Bear Lake, stuff like that. So the public lands that are authorized for that, yes, they can
okay,
on that.
that's what I told them, but probably not like Bonneville Shoreline Trail is not one of
No,
those.
the
Path.
Shoreline Trail, they cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a non-motorized trail anyway, so you can't be riding your e-bike on there.
They were
anyway.
just upset because someone's posted it that you can't take any motorized vehicle, and then they cited that bill, and I was like, well, that's the e-bike bill. But I don't think our ordinance discourages.
Yeah, there's provisions in the e-bike bill that prohibits certain age groups from riding e-bikes on public property. So maybe they're referencing that and thinking it means everyone.
Okay.
But the prohibition is specific to certain age groups,
Yeah.
not everybody.
Okay, there was just, I didn't think it was a sign from the city, but there was some concern from
No.
the citizens.
We did not put it up.
I don't know who it's a sign from. But it mentions that bill, wild horses. Anyways, it causes concern.
Just
I know
go
I've seen
straight through.
less e-bikes
There have been less, actually. We were asked about that yesterday, actually. We're having 2 to 3 a week that we're contacting still and getting information and pamphlets to, and talking to the parents. So it's considerably less than what it was last year.
Yeah.
There's still gonna be problems with it, but it has helped. And, when I look at the young men who are asking about the skate park, we're asking them to not be on the e-bikes. Maybe let's provide a place where they can go.
What can
Yeah.
we do?
I agree.
Oh, you had the front porch.
We did. It was well attended. And we talked about composting. People were excited about it. I don't know. It went well. Our next activity is going to be the second Thursday in August, and we're going to call it a summer social. And I have to clear it with the legal side of what we can and can't do for food, because I don't want to get in trouble. So
Get it catered. It's the easiest
Okay.
way to do it.
we might, so I think we're just gonna do a summer social and hopefully have some activities where people will interact with community. But we are saying front porch group is technically for 55 and older, but anyone's welcome that wants to come. Anybody that could come sit on my front porch is welcome at the front porch group to come and visit and interact. So we're doing it for the older section of our community, but we're encouraging it to be anybody that's interested, come and attend and get to know your neighbors.
Okay.
We can start going next year then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
If I can start
We-
coming next year, but
Next year.
Because you, to let,
Once
to
you
let
go-
younger people come.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
we're like,
Yeah.
everybody can come. Everybody's welcome.
Kirk, have you got anything?
I was gonna bring up the fireworks, and that's already been discussed and
Yeah.
passed, so I'm good.
Couple things for me. I met with DUP, Daughters Utah Pioneers, and we've offered as a city, they've compiled some histories, and we've offered that we would scan them and create some electronic files, because they have, one of a kind copies. And so we would create it electronically for them. They made some paper copies, and we've got them in the city office in there. One thing that came up, and the monument, I can't remember where it's at, where it has the original people that came to Hyde Park. They told me that it has, it has like Robert Danes and different people like that. And I'm like, well, it didn't come alone. They probably had a wife with them and some kids, and they were, yeah, but it only listed the men's names there. And I assume that that was insinuating the family. But I told them we should add a plaque that has the women and the children that were originally settled this place. They gave me they said they'd get a list for that, and I told them I would help find a donor that would put money towards that plaque, and I've already done that, and they gave me a list of names. So now we got to just get it made into a plaque and turn it, since it's a donor that's doing it, I'll just facilitate it, and then they can do their own unveiling of their plaque and things like that. Need to follow up sometime and find out where we are on the other park
Signs.
sign.
Did you guys take that over?
Yeah, we're waiting
Okay.
until the new fiscal year, but we're gonna meet with the people who make the signs and come up with some kind of bulk order and schedule to get the rest of them made,
Okay,
probably later in the summer.
okay. And then the last thing, Marcus and I met with we'll call it slow the flow people.
And there were other people there too. Tiffany, you were there?
I didn't
No.
make it to that meeting.
Dave was there.
I wanted to go.
Was Dave there?
That was Mikhail.
You were there?
Mikhail was there.
Mikhail.
And they have a program where they can help us with some social media. They can help us getting messages out on water conservation. A big thing that they can help us is write our water conservation plan. That's a huge undertaking. There is a cost associated. It was $3,000 for the year, and I think that is significantly less than getting a water conservation plan together. And so we would have to enter into an MOU with them, but I'm looking for the council to see if you'd give the thumbs up on this. I thought it was a good thing that they could help us do to not only socialize it, but to help us ingrain it into our court code and codify things that way. So if the council, it's a low enough amount that I could have done that without, but I just want to see that the council is on board with that and I see people nod their head. Dave, you got a comment?
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm just gonna say, and they have a lot of, in addition to social media stuff, they've got a lot of hard copy, paper copy, handouts, this and that, and we even mentioned perhaps a booth at our hometown days, and they would provide all the resources we'd want to do that. So that'd be a great way to kind of get this thing started and kick it off. So.
And I told them, I said, slow the flow kind of means like we need to dial it back right now, but we need to change our behavior. The messages that I've sent out as a message from the mayor about, conserving water and less water and sprinkling. I know we have good spring runoff right now, but I think it's just a behavioral change that we need to implement for us and for the future of people coming to Hyde Park, and we just need to be good stewards of our resources. So that's typically one that doesn't get made more of, so we need to use it wisely. Marcus, you got anything, or Danya?
Nope, I was just gonna mention the slow the flow, but you already covered that, so I'm good.
Chief?
Did you want to talk about that?
Sure. So the chief, well, we were talking police budget in our police commission, and I know the city council we've already approved the number that in our tentative budget that we had, that the state made us come up with, and we've recognized that we'll end up amending that in August. North Logan, they approved a different percentage than what we approved in our budget. They approved 4%. What that means to Hyde Park is the worst case scenario is what you've already approved. But when the percentage that North Logan approved is less than what we approved, and it's a formula that we go into. So it would mean a reduction of over $35,000 in the Hyde Park's police budget. So,
Well, not quite, excuse me, Mayor, sorry, not quite that much from.
well, it says,
Is that
So
total
the increase
for
would be
both?
from 56 is what we present, 56,000. That, and with the reduction that North Logan did,
oh,
it would take it to 35,000 would be Hyde Park's portion. And so from 56 to 35.
okay, you're right.
Right.
The increase we approved was 6.1, but North Logan approved 4%. So reducing our portion down to 4% would mean our portion of Hyde Park was 980,000, 529 previously, and now it drops it to 954, 503. So
So are we saying that the pay increase that we tentatively approved was more than what North Logan?
no, no, this is the overall.
This is the overall budget.
Overall budget. And so I met with the chief and Sherry this week, and they figured out where they're going to cut it. Pay increases will still be going through. And they're cutting in other places. We recognize that we typically under execute in some areas, so that's, we're going to lean into that and just to see where the chips fall.
Mhm.
I spoke with Alan Luce earlier today and told him, you realize what y'all caused? And he says, yes, sorry. So I know Mayor Peterson, I think she just come back, and I'll probably be meeting with her tomorrow or Friday and talk about roles and responsibilities for the members that are on the police commission. And
So you can say
I'll leave it at
yeah,
that.
about 80% of that police budget is salary and benefits. So
Yeah,
if you aren't nickel and diming somewhere else and you're gonna not approve what you were planning on approving, then it's gonna end up coming out of pay increases. I
well,
don't-
we know that
So,
they've been authorized for X number of employees and we haven't hit that yet.
Right.
So that's probably where
or it'll
it
make
would
up the
come from,
difference.
but
Okay.
we hate to. Do we want to hope to understaff police? That's not what we
No, I
hope.
am not in favor of that.
So that, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's,
okay.
that's what happened there. Police chief, you got other weekly report information here?
Yep, just real brief. I wanted to do a recap. So that, again, the first report that we gave is usually the recap of the month prior of where Hyde Park sat and the way calls came in. These are the stats for the week of June 14th through June 20th. During that week, the department handled 130 calls. 24 of those were with Hyde Park or for Hyde Park area specifically. And out of that, 9 were the non-priority, which you see in the blue, the animal problems, traps, some citizen assists, inspections, and some abandoned vehicles. And then the majority of the calls, 15 of the 24 were priority type calls. The most serious of those have been the rape investigation that we are working on that. So in addition to that, I didn't break it down by city on the citations, but we've had several of officers that were at training this last week. And so we were down, our stats are down a little bit for the stops. We had 90 traffic stops for the week, 15 citations and 62 warnings total on that. In addition to that, we've also done several presentations between myself and Lieutenant Pugmire on the active shooter. Cray's presentation, it's the citizen response against active shooter that we presented to Hyde Park City. But that's been presented to Cache Valley Hospital. I presented last night to Hiram City. They had a request from their council to present that to them. And so I did that. I presented on that. So the information is getting out. We're staying busy, but this is kind of the snapshot of this last week that we're looking at.
Does anybody have any questions for the chief? Not? Thanks, chief. Appreciate you. And I know you got some things you can run to. So, the first item that we have for action is a public hearing to consider ordinance 2026-08, an ordinance enacting compensation increase for specific city officers. This came about a couple of years ago when the state, chief, when the state enacted to be more transparency on pay increases, and that would include 3 offices inside Hyde Park City. And if the code, the ordinance, I know I've got it here somewhere. In our city council meeting notes, it says 08, but it's actually
We're looking at ordinance 2026-09.
09.
Yeah, that's 09.
Is our meeting agenda incorrect? Okay. It's 2026-09. And it's referencing a 2.5% increase for city administrator, public works, building inspection director. And the total is 6%, 5%, 5% for those respective positions. So this is a public hearing. I will open it up for public comment at this time.
Mayor, would it be helpful for me to do a quick explanation on how we do our wage calculations?
Yes.
So every year Hyde Park City budgets wage increases for two reasons. One is cost of living adjustments, and we get those numbers directly from the Utah Retirement Services. Every year they do a little post about inflationary costs, cost of living adjustments, and so we take their numbers. And then the remainder of the increase is due to performance factors. And so every year we do performance evaluation process. We'll have all the supervisors do people who they supervise. And then finally, I meet with all the department heads and supervisors to do theirs. And then I meet with the mayor to kind of go over everybody and to do my own evaluation. We have a unique problem in Hyde Park that for the past 2 years, everybody has had really great performance evaluations. We have a really amazing staff right now, people who are really motivated to do a good job and to work hard. And so we've had a lot of people with a lot of increases. This year, the mayor also commissioned a wage study, a small scale wage study. And so Melissa and Danya put together a little wage study of cities of a similar size and in our area, looking at how we compare with our wages. And we're doing good. We are underpaying a little bit, but it's to be expected because of the size of the municipality and the scale of the problems that we deal with. So overall, we felt like the wages were very fair for the city.
I think the term is I strive to be extremely average. So we're not the highest paid, we're not the lowest paid.
But yeah, so the raises being considered for the three who are for the public hearings, 5% for the two. And the only reason that mine is at 6% was a little tiny additional increase to try and get me up near where other city administrators are as part of that wage study.
He's, yeah, the lowest in the valley.
So that's how we got where we are.
So public hearing is open for any comment. Having none, I would close the public comment and turn it back to the council to discuss or make a motion on this resolution. And this was already built into the budget that you approved.
I move that we adopt and pass ordinance 2026-09, enacting compensation increases for these three specific city officers.
I'll second that.
Got a motion with a second to approve 2026-09, an ordinance for the compensation of the three offices in Hyde Park City. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Motion carries 4-0. I will tell you at this time, I think it stayed in there. Council and mayor, was it the increase is what I said? You get nothing. Good day, sir.
Oh, I was like,
So
I think we
I
heard anything.
said no increase for mayor or council on that, so.
So yeah, we as a city staff are very grateful that whether you knew it or not, you volunteered your increase so that we could give increases to all of our employees. So we thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Well, you have to recognize who really does a lot of the heavy lifting here.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know that any of us do this for the pay,
No.
but our city staff does. I mean, that's how they,
And they have to make a living for.
yeah, that's how they pay their
Yeah.
bills and make a living. So
Yep. So the next item is consider ordinance 2026-08 this time. I'm hoping I'll take a look at. Oh, that was it.
Now we're.
Oh, we did A and B. The next item is
Your number's off again.
Stuff on the numbers off, yes, I love,
Did 09.
I love the number 09 apparently, but
It's 26-15.
it's 2026-15.
okay. I'm getting
just put
confused here. Public hearing to consider resolution 2026-15, resolution adopting the amendment to the 2026 fiscal year budget ending June 30th. And so this will be the first time we see it, and then we'll close the books out September.
It closes June
This one,
30th.
this one,
Oh,
So these are the
Don't you-
final amendments before the year ends.
won't you do a year end one later?
This is year end.
This is it. Okay.
We're closing out in what, less than a
So we'll
week?
open up that public hearing portion of this. Having none, we'll close that. Danya, is there anything? Well, it's pretty much up there.
Yeah, it's there for you to see. I think the things that stand out is building permits. We always budget low because we never know what kind of year it's going to be in the building department. And as you can see, it was well above anticipated. And so we're increasing the budget for the revenue in the building permits, which also reflects on park and road impact fees. And then bonus density, we took in, I think our final, we have Juniper, we have one left, but we took in more this year than I had budgeted for.
Should
But the
look this.
exciting thing to see here is that we will be transferring, because I'm determined not to get that finding again this year of having too much in our general fund. We are transferring $1,342,000 into a capital projects. And that sounds like a lot, but what's happened is we didn't buy the snow plows that we were budgeted to buy and a few other items like that. So that money just goes into a capital projects account so that it can be purchased next year or whenever that happens.
I will get
And
with
so-
George tomorrow or Friday and find out, because he agreed to it. It was, they weren't new to us. They were new to us. They weren't new snowplows. They were, county was replacing some. So I'll find out where we are and being able to purchase those.
Okay, and a lot of this, we do a cushion for maintenance. And so a lot of this is that maintenance cushion that just goes into capital projects. So in future years, we have a little maintenance money. So it's good news that we have that much over the last couple of years to put into that for those items. So I felt like the budget rolled out really well this year.
How much
Coming
did,
in-
how much more on the building permits did we end up with? The increase?
The 360,000,
It would, that 360 is an increase.
an increase beyond what we had budgeted.
Okay, that's,
So that's, yeah, significant. A couple commercial
Is that
businesses.
more than
that-
the last year?
Yeah,
that's an increase of 360.
Yeah, the number of permits I think was pretty similar, but we had some bigger buildings come in. And so the fees are a little higher because the reviews take more time, the inspections take more time. And so we got a few more larger fees. We didn't necessarily have like a huge influx of new permits.
right. And of course, the townhomes helped with that as well.
Yes, the gateway.
Yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, but.
As some may not know, Hyde Park's building inspection does the building inspections for North Logan, Clarkston,
Newton, Clarkston, and Lewiston.
Lewiston, and negotiate another town, and we'll see. It's something that we have probably one of the I know we're more experienced and more certifications than the county, so we'll see where this goes. I'm trying to negotiate another town, large municipality in the valley, so it would help Hyde Park. So it's before you then, council, to discuss and have a motion on resolution 2026-15, the budget amendment.
Curious, do we really spend 20,000 on the city celebration?
That was an increase because we paid, I've forgotten his name, for the 4-year contract.
Oh, Kevin,
Yes, Kevin, thank you,
Yeah.
Kevin Wheatley. And so that's the only reason for that increase.
There's a
It's
check
not
on-
usually that much.
There's a check on your desk too.
2 of them, yeah.
Oh,
or the other one came.
good deal.
Who's? who's-
Here, I'll make the motion. We approve resolution 2026-15.
Kirk's got a motion to approve the Book of Revelations. No, resolution 2026-15. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Stephanie. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed with nay? The next item is a rezone parcel. If it's a small parcel that the city owns, and it was long ago acquired because believed Wolfpack Way was going to curve up in a different location. So Hyde Park City owns that parcel. This parcel right here, we're rezoning it to this same zone as commercial. And then we're going to trade this for this part. Trade it with the heart so that we don't have to purchase that. So that was part of the agreement to do that, and that's what the rezone is for. So since it's considered, we open that up to public hearing on the rezone.
The public hearing was held at the
Oh,
planning.
that's in the
Commission.
planning commission, true. And I was there and they voted unanimously for it. So council, it's to you.
This is all we've been agreed to in the negotiations.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I would motion that we approve the rezone.
Yeah, this was in the negotiation with the Hart Properties people. Marcus, you have more on that?
Yeah, the difficult part is the city can't agree to a legislative action by a written contract or agreement. And so we needed to have the city council still consider the rezone just like we would any other. We haven't necessarily promised that it would happen, but we told them we'll try our best because we think this is a good thing for everybody. So yeah, we didn't promise the rezone, but we really hope you vote yes, because that would make this negotiation much, much easier.
For Wolfpack Way.
Yeah, Wolfpack Way. Otherwise, we're creating a parcel out of. You go back up there. The map.
Oh, I got it here.
It just isn't a good.
What we end up doing is creating a strip of property here
Yeah.
that they can't utilize. So we're almost like condemning, and
Yeah.
now do we have to buy that too?
Yeah.
So,
I still think it's a good idea, so I still make the motion.
so did you say you made the motion to approve the rezone request?
Yeah.
Got a motion to approve the rezone request?
That went
From-
before the planning commission, didn't it?
Yes, yep, and they voted unanimously for the rezone. It's from R2 to commercial.
I'll second it.
And got a second from Stephanie. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Next item is, we had some time ago, some water rates discussion, and Marcus, Colette and Melissa spent a lot of time on this work, and so this is just some discussion. No motion is needed on this.
So there was some question brought up at the previous meeting by a public comment about how the study was done and how did we get our numbers? And so I visited with Colette and Melissa. They tackled this and put it together. And we came up with a statement that I'd like to read for the record that just describes how we got the numbers that we got. So here we go. Hyde Park City did not commission or perform a formal cost of service water study. Instead, city staff conducted an internal financial review of the Water Enterprise Fund. The review analyzed historical revenues and expenditures, projected future operating costs using reasonable inflation assumptions, evaluated anticipated revenue under current and proposed rate structures, and compared Hyde Park's rates to neighboring communities. The purpose was to determine whether the current rates appear sufficient to sustain water operations and infrastructure obligations over the next several years. City staff recognizes that a comprehensive water cost of service study would involve additional engineering, customer classification, forecasting, metering analysis, and rate design work beyond the scope of our internal review. We completed an appropriate preliminary financial review and identified a likely future funding gap. That review may be sufficient to justify modest rate adjustments. However, if the council wishes to redesign rates based on customer classes, conservation objectives, equity considerations, or long-term planning, a professional cost of service study would be the next step. So it's a really fancy way to say what we did is we took the budget and forecasted out, essentially found out how much money does it cost for us to run the system today. And then they applied an inflation modifier, 3% over the next 5 years, and figured out how much money we would need to keep things going as they are now. And then converted that into a water rate, but then also compared it to our neighbors, because we don't want to be too crazy compared to our neighbors, because that's just inviting problems. And so that's how we got the number that we got. Now, when I did some research into what an actual rate study would involve, there is a significant amount of work that would take. I did reach out to Sunrise Engineering. They offered to do one for us. They would not do it for free. It would not be cheap. And if that's something the city council would like to do, then that's something that we could do if we wanted to attach more specific objectives to it. But we feel like the water rates that were presented previously, and I can find those and bring them back on the screen if you want to take a look at them. Those represent a good cost analysis if we want to keep the system running like it is for probably the next 4 to 5 years. And at that point, the model went backwards and we started losing money. So
At 5 years, we started losing money.
it's about it. Yeah, so year 1, 2, 3, 4, we're still good, but by year 5, we would be losing money if we kept this rate. And again, the rate isn't meant to be kept for that long. The biggest reason we want this rate adopted, these rate changes, is because it adds in the multifamily tiers. And so because we have many multifamily units coming online, there is an urgency to try and get a multifamily rate established to give them more equitable consideration than just charging them the single family home rate.
I think when Carl was on here, he and I dug into it and we kind of know what the cost of delivery, that initial cost, we got a good idea of what that is. And that's built into that initial first bracket. We know that a certain amount of money is static. That's what goes into the maintenance of the system that we have there. And then there's the bill for the water. So but Sunrise will do that same thing for about.
They said they could do it for $10,000 to $15,000.
How often is it recommended that we look at our water rate? Like, is there a recommendation somewhere that says you should look at your water rates every so often, or is that just up to
Actually,
municipalities?
the the flow people, they have some tier structures that they have, and they have a lot of information on that. And I think that will help us significantly, as I recall them speaking to us. Dave, you heard the same thing that they have. And that's why we went to tiers, and now they've even spoke about the high water users or abusers of what you can do. So,
The recommendation is you review it as often as you need to, and that's very broad. But essentially, whenever your water system has new developments, new needs, you're adding new sources, you're adding significant amounts of population, we should be looking at it again. So if you think about last time we updated the water rates, it was shortly after I started here. It was in 2022. We hadn't updated the water rates for, what was it, 20 years? And so
People are so upset.
it was definitely time. And at this point, with the shift we have in our zoning and the housing that's on the way, this is another great opportunity for us to be looking at these rates again and adopting a new one. And I think a good reason maybe we adopt this rate and make some kind of note that we want to revisit it in 4 years is because, yeah, we're bringing all these multifamily units online. In the next 4 years, we'll have much more. Our water system is going to look very, very different in 4 years when we have all that infrastructure built down near Wolfpack Way. I have it on good authority that the Rendezvous is probably going to try to submit pretty soon. So we'll have new water infrastructure up on the bench. Like, our water system is going to grow a lot in the next 4 years. And so it makes sense that we would want to do another study, and probably next time needs to be a much more formal one. But that's,
and by the
a
way,
recommendation.
our city water has been functioning very well, and we don't have our new well online yet. So everything that we have has been on our old system. We've got a walkthrough scheduled. I don't remember the date. We spoke about it last Tuesday.
Monday, our contractor is doing a final tune-up and turn on of the pump and the well to make sure that everything's working as it should. And then we
Yeah.
should be able to sign off and close out the project.
But as long as we can feed the city with gravity-fed water, that's a good thing.
What's our plan once we get it approved? Are we gonna start pumping water from here or?
Only if we have to. If we can feed the city with gravity-fed, when you pump uphill, that costs money. And so just turning the pumps on, as I recall, costs about $500 a month when you start them up. So
Yeah, the number one word in infrastructure is redundancy, right? So currently we have our spring, we have 2 wells. One of the wells is offline and it's currently not in
We have
service
3 wells.
technically.
3
Well, now
wells.
we'll have 3.
Yeah, now we'll have 3.
So one of them is decommissioned. It's turned off. According to the state, it's not working. It is working, but we just turned it off because we didn't use it all for a couple of years. We didn't use it at all. And so there's just extra reporting. So we turned it off. But yeah, this new well, we anticipate we'll be using that one too. So we will technically have 3 wells and a spring, and we hope we don't have to use them all ever, but hopefully now we can start some kind of rotation schedule or something so we can have the redundancy in the system. If one of the wells go down, previously we would have been in really rough shape. Now, if one goes down, we can turn it off, fix it comfortably the right way while the other well takes over for the hole that we would have in the system.
The state isn't in a position where they could come and take that water if we don't use it that well, right?
No, not if we have a plan that shows beneficial use, and we have our 40-year build-out plan that allocates our water to growth in the city. They can take it from people that are individuals that are not utilizing their water shares as they should be.
Yeah, if we had specific water rights tied to our sources, we could be in danger of losing them if we weren't using them. But the way that our water rights are filed with the state is that we can pull them from multiple sources. We have it kind of as one bucket of rights, and it counts to come from the wells or the springs. So we're okay. We're not in danger of the state coming and taking away
We can-
water rights.
The term is any, each and all, so all of our water rights are tied to all of our sources, so we can move them about.
So
that's-
this is a discussion item. It's obviously not for a vote. So really, we as staff need to know, is that enough information to make a decision? Do you want us to go and get bids to do a formal study, or are you ready to have it brought back as an action item at a future city council meeting?
I think the work that Melissa and Colette did was very thorough.
They,
I think we should go
they,
ahead and bring it back as an action item. And I appreciate all their work too.
I'll tell you, we weren't that thorough with the last ones that we did. We were pretty thorough, but not as thorough as those ladies were.
I'm sure you guys have noticed, but I also want to point out, part of this is that if you'll notice, 43% of the users are actually getting a reduction. So it's also that we think maybe some of those that are only using 3 gallons a month are, pardon, 3,000 gallons, what did I say? 3,000 gallons are paying too much. And so this also benefits, the low users. Oh, it's not about conservation. Those that are single widows using very little water are still paying the same amount as those that use the full 3,000. Anyway, it just benefits them a little bit.
Mayor,
sir,
couple of questions. How much or what do we, how much do we get from collecting fees that go for replacement of like water lines? Any?
so on the base rate, if you look at that, the base rate, the cost of delivery from
Down.
is at 12.16. The cost of the water is here. So this is for the maintenance of our system. Now, is it enough? Because
Cause we got old ones.
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
yeah, like, yes, we have.
And we're
Is-
good money after bad money sometimes because we're just fixing.
Yeah,
So that's kind of where a more formal study would help. Right now, this is just based on keeping things going the way they are. Yes, we added a couple line items to the budget to start saving a little bit of money every year for long-term maintenance, but we haven't created a capital project list that we're specifically saving money for. So that would be the benefit of doing an engineering analysis, is we could say, okay, we want to generate $1 million a year that we're just going to spend on these things. And the water rate, they could reverse engineer it and say, how much money do you want to raise? Okay, based on how much you collect every year, this is how much you'll have to raise your water rates by to get that much money.
so that base rate may need to be, $17. And that, so
So that's the difference, is the proposal right now is kind of keeping the status quo, but anticipating some inflationary costs and adding in the townhomes.
and I would say the city has had the challenge. I know of one road we've had paved over and they've had to cut it because we have water line breaks 4 or 5 times.
Yep.
And that's because we don't have before we pave a road, we should be analyzing the infrastructure under it.
So in order to come up with a capital projects plan to look at our 30 and 40 and however old lines and the process by which we would go about replacing those, would that require then
A formal.
a formal engineering study, correct?
Yeah, and you'd want to do it that way to help justify the increase. Right now, we're proposing that this increase is to shift the burden and to keep the status quo. The level of analysis we feel is sufficient. If we wanted to hike up the rate in order to generate a specific amount of revenue, you would need a more formal study to do that.
How many more years do we go before we start spending money that we don't budget for water line repairs that we didn't know we're going to need? Well, we know we need them, but we're choosing just to kind of push it down the road. I don't know. I kind of feel like,
Do that forever.
right. And we've done it now for, at some point we need to do this. So I wonder if now's the time that you do it and it answers both questions.
How long would it take Sunrise to do that?
Oh, I think they said they could probably get it done in about a month.
Oh, wouldn't it be a long time?
The fun part is we can't adopt the new water rate anyway for at least 90 days after you vote. And so
Mhm.
we've kind of missed the peak season anyway. If we were going to vote on this at a meeting in July, it couldn't come into effect
I
till
think you should
October.
spend the money.
And by then we are, we're looking at the low usage months anyway. And so we're not really going to capture any of the high usage revenue this summer either way. And so if you wanted to do a study, we could pretty much do it anytime because we've missed the window for this year.
And maybe it is a good time to do it. If
Perhaps.
we've missed the window. I feel confident in the numbers they've given us, but I think we're going to have to justify it again in 4 years. Like we'll have to do it sometime in this window. If we're gonna look at another rate increase, we're gonna need to
Really,
either do it now,
what they've analyzed is this portion. The cost
the cost
per
per
gallons,
gallon.
that's what they've looked at,
but not the
not
not the
the
base
base.
rate, yeah.
The other thing I would add, if we want to do a professional study, I would love to get the slow the flow people on board and get us a water conservation plan in motion as
Yeah.
well. And that way we can also include conservation as an element when we do
That's a great idea.
the formal study.
Professional.
Well, and I was going to ask Marcus, when we look at the current number of users in each of those categories, certainly we use more water during the summer than the winter. Is that kind of an average across the year? Because if you pick August versus January, those numbers are gonna vary. And so, we've got 16% use this lesser amount. Is that?
I believe they took an average for an entire year.
For the entire year and then I guess the next question I have is, there's a pretty big bump when we get over the 50,000. I mean, up to that point, we're looking at, $1 increase, from the 183 to 295, and then you jump up by a couple dollars. I guess I'm curious as where they came up with those categories. Did we include additional tiers? I thought I saw something somewhere that there were going to be more tiers than we currently have. I guess I'm just wondering how they came up
I
with.
think this is more tiers than we currently have, isn't it?
I think this is 2 more tiers than we currently have.
Okay.
It's not a ton, but they added a couple more. The shift comes from looking at what other communities did
Okay.
and trying to adopt a similar water rate.
Okay.
There's a lot of communities in the valley that once you hit that 50,000 and above, they do a big jump. And usually it's because if you look at this spreadsheet, the bulk of your users are going to be below that.
Right,
And so at that point, you get out of normal usage and get into above average. And so, the people who have the most wear and tear on the pipes probably should pay more than the people who are using an average or lower than average amount of water. And so that kind of dips into maybe the forced conservation a little bit. But that was, I think that's directly from.
Was it low 6?
Oh, well, this
Percentage.
I have to open this.
So if you just highlight those, it'll tell you.
Oh, will it? It's fine. No,
Just
no, no.
highlight 16, 27, 17, 17.
Yeah,
You
well,
got
here.
10% that are your 75,000 or more.
77% of the people are below that.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, that's just a lot of water. I don't know how you go through 50,000 gallons of water. I mean,
You water the church property down here on Second South and
I'll tell you, last year we
That's
thought
what
we were
they're
going to
doing.
lose our grass, and since Hiram City didn't have any sort of restrictions, we decided to water like 4 or 5 days a week. And on my little quarter-acre lot, we still didn't break 50,000 gallons.
yeah, I mean, it's just,
That often you do it?
Even watering like 5 days a week, we did not break 50,000,
Wow.
and that's with 3 little kids and baths and showers and laundry,
and that's every month.
and that was every month. Like our monthly bill did not break 50,000.
This is a month.
so council, I would ask you, do you think I personally think it'd be money well spent. We've missed the peak season. This would position the city better coming into the fall and the winter to be able to adopt something with the input of slow the flow and a technical analysis of our water system to see if the base rates are correct. You think I think that it would be money well spent if we did an engineering analysis, $10,000-15,000. That would,
I think we're gonna have to do it at some point. We either do it now and know our numbers are good, and then we evaluate it going forward, or we, like you say, Dave, kick it down the road 4 years and do it then.
you're gonna have a more expensive problem.
Yeah, I wonder if now's the right time where we can't implement it anyways. It's gonna help us justify it better to the public, why we're doing it. Cause I was running around neighborhoods today and I had so many people tell me, I'm not in favor of the water rate. I hear and I'm like, that's because we haven't high water rates very
Well,
often.
Well,
but there's some rumors going on that
Yeah.
their water rates are gonna double.
Right, which is not true, but I think it also.
Well, for
gives
some
us-
people it might.
True,
True.
but I
You
think
need
it
to run
gives
around
us
the wrong
some
neighborhoods because for half of the people, they're gonna go up. They're gonna, or, you know, a third of the people are gonna be less.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's a messaging thing though.
Cause there's,
Yeah, all over the place. Yeah. And it's the messaging that, you know, you hear something and you don't get the.
Well, and
actual-
Just type-
hitting the pause button to do a rate study would help us connect with the slow the flow people, maybe create
Yep.
some educational materials, publish some things in the newsletter. I mean, if we're not going to adopt the water rate before October anyway, we might as well take a couple extra months, do all the messaging,
Yeah.
adopt the rate in
I agree.
January,
Yeah,
and
I-
then it's ready
Like-
to go for the summer.
I think there's a bigger thing, and it helps the city strategically plan when we say, oh, we're going to re-asphalt a road. Well, we know that this road has this old water line underneath it, and here's the problem, here's the history. So this is what we
Yeah.
need to do. So I think it lends itself into your road projects. I mean, it's-
Yeah, there's kind of this two sides of this. People complain about them going up. And so we're gonna do a study to justify that, and what likely is gonna come back is, well, they're gonna go up even
Even
more
more.
than what we originally thought, because we need to
Yeah,
have a plan to fix all this stuff.
but I almost think it's a better approach, because if we're gonna take the bite and raise the rates anyways, why not get them
It-
where they need to be?
some analysis in it versus
I just,
why did you pick 50,000 or why did you pick
Right.
1215 as a base? Here's,
yeah.
now you
So-
have technical.
I think the sooner we get on planning for this down the road,
I
the
think so.
better. So I would be in favor,
What
Mayor.
People
doing
don't
a study.
realize is if the water, it's an increase to us too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So I'd be in favor of going ahead and doing the study, you know, let's, you know, at 10 or 15, if they come back and say it's 25, then we'll go find somebody else, but
Okay.
We
But-
look ahead,
I'd be okay with that.
replacing.
yeah,
We're not talking about that and we need to
Yeah.
yeah.
more.
So we'll
Yeah.
include a look at capital projects, but also replacement.
Lines, the old lines.
Yeah, Sunrise also does the inventory of all of our water lines, and we did, as part of our lead and copper thing that we're working on with the federal government, we have an inventory that kind of shows the dates and the ages of those lines. So we'll start with that.
I have a quick question. I read last week that the letter from our patron that has expertise. Was that helpful or did we use that or how do we handle something like that? I mean,
It's lending itself into what we're discussing right now, doing the professional analysis of.
Yeah,
of them.
I sent that letter to our city staff saying, hey, these are the questions that our council's being asked, so we need to sit down and visit about it. And so it helped us come up with the response for you tonight, and just inform what we've done. But yeah, it's the two letters that we got from Mr. Darnell, as well as his public comment at the public hearing. He's not wrong. Nothing that he said was incorrect or not right. It's just not what we had done. And so now it does make me feel a little better that the council's supportive of doing a professional study, because that just helps us make sure that we are doing things, you know, dotting the i's and crossing the t's, doing it the right way.
Basically, his executive summary of that of his letters would be, need to do what you're saying to do. do a study on
Right.
that.
Yep.
It'll get us on the right track. I
So-
feel like this is good effort.
I'm good.
So
James made the motion that
I'll second. his-
can we make a motion?
I'm not sure we need to make a
No.
motion. I'm just saying,
We
we can't vote. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna be out of town next week doing a little family vacation. The week after, I will sit down with Sunrise. I will get a contract. I will ask them to write up a contract to do the water rate study. And if it's within that 10 to 15,000, we'll go ahead and move forward. If it's gonna be more than that, I'll bring it back to the
We'll
council
run that up
to,
the flagpole on Tuesday with them next week and have it
Yeah.
ready
Oh,
for you when you come
yeah.
back.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Okay. Does anybody else have any comments for city council?
or
Oh,
general, yes, I want to.
do.
Yeah, so months ago, the safety, well, it's been a year that we talked about the flashing speed limit signs like we have down here by the post office. You come into town, speed limit 25, it flashes that year. We talked about, would that help on 600 South, by Legacy Park, all this speed coming
Yeah.
down there. And so we've been talking about this kind of stuff for a while. And we've got some other places, 1000 East is a prime example of, and Chief was here with the results of the study, I think 2 weeks ago or the prior time. And there's some places around in town where they're still, exceeding the speed limit. So we had addressed in the safety committee that is it possible to just have residents donate a sign? Because we don't have it in the budget, to put these things all over. They're pretty expensive. It's been a while since I've looked at the price of those, but I want to say they were $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, depending on how fancy they are. But there's some,
If they're solar, if we have power there.
yeah, but there's some concerns with that. And as I've talked to the staff and Marcus a little bit, does that just mean that anybody in town that, the city's not providing what they want, then they just go out and purchase it and then give it to the city, and then we have to, where do you draw the line on how you deal with that? And we don't have a standard for saying, well, we're only gonna allow those kind of signs on collectors or arterial, on and on. We don't have a process in
The
place.
standard is federal highways. They
Right.
have a standard on the sign. There was one on 10th West or 10th East, wanting to put in change yield to four-way stop.
Right. And
To the first, excuse me, the first thing that has to happen, excuse me, I think, and the chief has given us some of that traffic study, but whenever you're changing the flow with inside the traffic, that's a council decision. If you're changing a yield to a stop, a speed from 25 to 35, what's the rationale? So the traffic behind it, the study behind
Right.
that. So those are the things that have to happen. If somebody wants to make a donation of funds to the city and have it go towards traffic and safety, they can do that. But
And in this case,
they
we'll-
need to have the rationale
In
behind
this
it.
case, but in this case, it's not changing the flow. It's not changing stops for yields. It doesn't, as far as I can tell, there's nothing in the manual that says where you can put a flashing sign that says
No.
you're going,
There's no.
what your speed limit is. And this is really what the request is.
Flashing
Yeah,
speed
this is not a changing the traffic pattern. This is, hey, put some signs up on 1000 East, speed limit 25, and then it flashes, you're going 25 or you're going 60.
For every one of those, when we're tapping into power, we pay for the power.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We pay for all of that.
It's funny because when we were looking at doing the flashing crossing signs at the roundabout on 600 South that we put in last year or the year before, we said it's probably going to be cheaper to pull power instead of just doing all solar. Turns out it wasn't. It was cheaper to just get solar arrays for everything, and that cost us like 10 grand a sign. Pulling the power out and running it to all those things was going to be more expensive.
Holy cow.
So yeah, if the power's already there, it saves us a lot of money. But turns out running power to those individual signs can end up costing a lot of money depending on how far away it is, how hard it is to get there.
So
So that would make it different on the cost and where, I mean, maybe they would say, well, don't put the sign on that corner or on that street, put it the next street down. We don't really care as long as it's in the neighborhood, but put it where there's power because it's cheaper, but still begs the question, is that something that the city wants to do? And then at what point do we say, well, we've already got a dozen of them in town and no,
So
not do it
it's
anymore.
kind of like, yeah, I'll just pick on Thane here. If he wanted to put a flashing 25-mile-an-hour sign, that's what the speed is here. I know that there's a max, a minimum distance that we're supposed to have between signs, and the minimum distance for a yield and all that kind of stuff. But if somebody wanted to even go less than that and slow up traffic, I think that's what Dave's asking, to put another sign so it'll flash their speed. Is there anything that prohibits that? So it's staying within the same traffic flow. If Thane wanted to put one of those in front of his house because people are speeding too much, even though there's a 25-mile-an-hour here and one down by the school, he thinks it'll help. Would that prohibit? I think it still has to come to the council because we pay for that power connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think as long as we're adding them to existing speed limit signs, we don't have any kind of problem. If we were making new ones, then we'd have to find some kind of, I know there's some kind of spacing requirement. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but adding the flashing signs to an existing speed limit sign, I don't think there's any sort of problem there. I think the bigger question that Dave's trying to answer is, are we okay with people? I mean, I know we're always okay with donations, right? But how are we going to address that with people who want to give donations to the city for signs in their neighborhood? Is that going to cause a problem? Is that something that we want to encourage people to do? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, essentially, I mean,
So-
it's just,
Just my thought is, at what point does it look like a bribe to get what you want from the city?
Mm.
Because wealthier neighbors might be able to dump more into something, and then other neighborhoods might feel like their neighborhood's being neglected because things are happening here and not here.
right.
I just feel like it could look like
It
we're
could, yeah,
favoring
it
certain
could.
areas of town because they can afford to throw some money at the city to get what they want.
Sure.
That's just
Yeah.
one
No, and that's
thought that came to mind when you were
Should-
talking about it. I don't know that that's what it would look like, but I just think it could be perceived that way.
Couldn't the city
be could-
responsible for putting those in and making
that Yeah.
decision?
Should be.
but,
With your input.
yeah.
And it should be based on traffic, and we have speed
Yeah.
reports, and we should be doing the right thing, whether or not we have enough money to do it. We made a big investment last year on replacing signs. Perhaps now we can be a little more surgical about it on, you know what, we still have a speed problem here. Let's get something to flash it. Next thing we do is we have a officer camp up there, and then we can increase our funds that way.
Or maybe it's like a match
Well-
program where we already budget a certain amount of money for signs. So if somebody wants to donate to get a sign in their neighborhood, city will match it by installing another sign somewhere else in town.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a way to avoid the favoritism
Or even we just,
situation.
and this discussion's been good because I guess what I would say is, as we look at the city as a city council and input from chief where we put speed trailers and residents who say, hey, it's still happening, and that as a city council recommendations, whatever from the safety committee, but we look and say, well, yeah, on these major high traffic roads that we're still exceeding speed limits, let's put one of those flashing signs there. So it becomes a city council action, not who has the most money in which neighborhood and they get the signs and the others don't.
And
That
perhaps we come up with a strategy of like targeting the corridors where people are.
Yeah.
right.
Throughout.
Yeah. It's not an issue next door to the building here, but it certainly is on 1,000 East and probably 450 North, six. So,
Discussion.
I'll get back with the individuals I've been talking with up there. But I think what I would propose is we'll talk to the safety committee and maybe come up with some ideas that we'd want to have looked at in town where there's continued issues, and we'll get some pricing on signs and whatever, and proceed through city council decisions.
Since this is an open discussion thing, what are you thinking? Wish we could do that. The state outlawed it. We can't send tickets, but send them an invoice, see if they pay.
Maybe since we're entering a new budget year, I'm gonna sign Danya up for a little homework. Maybe we can make some sort of just rough breakdown of what we budgeted for each of the different road aspects, and we can send that to the safety committee. So, there's the specific set aside for safety committee projects. There's a specific side for council projects, but then we also have budgeted for specific things like curb, gutter, sidewalk, signs. So we can get that over to you, and you can keep that in mind as we're making plans for the year.
And we, of our signs, we ought to be able to say that this much of the money is set aside. If we have donations, we will do a match contribution. Can't do all of it because we don't want to have one neighborhood,
Yeah.
take all the funds. So, good discussion.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
bringing
you for your
that up.
time, everyone.
All right, any other discussion? Take-
Could Stephanie use the building now for storage? Is it ready?
Not until we sign off.
That's what I was gonna say. We gotta wait for that, huh?
Yep, we gotta do that walkthrough.
When do we get our assignments for city celebration?
Oh, I'll work on those.
I already got
I'd
mine.
like if I just know, so I can plan what I gotta do.
I want to enter the
Just keep your
Hyde
weekend.
Porker, smoke some ribs. I'm in a practice. Thane, you want to come up and check out the practice?
Something,
Yeah, smoke ribs.
it has to be ribs.
Yes, we provide the meat.
Oh, you're perfect. Okay.
Yes. So everybody starts at the same starting point. Yeah.
All right, I'd look for a motion to dismiss.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion from Stephanie, second from Tiffany. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with nay? Have you turned it off?